2001: A Space Odyssey is arguably the first film to use sound design in the way that we understand it today. According to Looking at Movies by Richard Barsom and David Monahan, movies engage two senses, vision and hearing. Although some viewers and even filmmakers assume that image is paramount, what we hear from the screen can be at least as significant as what we see on it, and sometimes what we hear is even more significant. Director Steven Spielberg said, "The eye sees better when the sound is great." In 2001: A Space Odyssey, Kubrick uses silence expressively to accentuate and strengthen the visual image and to develop character. During the scene with the explosive bolts, as the climax occurs, the audio is muted and all the viewer sees is the explosion of the bolts. The sound returns for the following action. In 2001: A Space Odyssey, the scenes lacking in sound during precise moments carry the most weight. Another example is a beautifully framed scene where Dave and Frank are speaking in a capsule. While their conversation is important, who it is concerning is more important. They are attempting to speak about Hal, who they believe might be defected. As they conceal themselves in a soundproof capsule, the camera shows Hal's view in complete silence. He's reading their lips. Sound is also emphasized in the deactivation of Hal. Kubrick uses ambient noise to pull the viewer in and make them feel encapsulated in the scene. The ambient noise of space and the heavy breathing creates a sound that makes you want to look over your shoulder. Kubrick does not add an eerie soundtrack, and the lack of score creates a feeling more eerie than most suspenseful soundtracks. Minimal sound has a maximum impact. Kubrick does not rely on any cheap tricks to convey his message to his viewers, and he does not use a dramatic soundtrack to convince the audience of their feelings. This silence makes Hal's pleas more gripping and real. This ties into another use of sound, to develop characterization. In a film review, Mike D'Angelo says of A Space Odyssey 2001, "We're seeing people say and do whatever is required to achieve their objective at that particular moment, and nothing more. Hal, by contrast, demonstrates what we all recognize as neurosis. And while it's mostly implied by his behavior, it does have one specific instance, that refusal to answer Delia's summons for 43 seconds, as he sits in silence, which is followed by a capitulation when it becomes clear that Delia isn't going to shut up. Hal's reaction in this instance is very human." Kubrick uses clinical precision for the sound design in 2001: A Space Odyssey, and through the expressive use of silence, he accentuates and strengthens the visual image and develops characterization.